What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Bay Area Sports. It's been a couple weeks since I've made a podcast. Been super busy trying to get back on track, guys. I'm trying to get back on track here. But we got a lot of news. We got Warrior news. We got some Niner news. And the Niners news is, well, there's not a lot to talk about except for the defense is in shambles and the offense is finally getting Brock Purdy and Pearsall back. Will that help the Niners actually get over the hump and win another game? Against the Cardinals, maybe. The Cardinals are in a lot of trouble too. But first off, let's talk a little bit about the Golden State Warriors. I want to talk about the Warriors because I think there's been a lot of people panicking and stressing about the age of this team over the last few weeks, probably last week in general, because their road record, let's just face it, it sucks. It's not great. They put up a really horrible effort against the Thunder. But I want to say something to that effect, guys. These guys are getting older, and there is no doubt that they have to manage their time and their efforts in a way that show up closer to the end of the season and into the playoffs, which I totally think they're going to make. I don't think that there's a lot of competition when it comes to playoffs for the Warriors ahead of the top 2 or 3 teams. Honestly, the Thunder are going to be there. They're the best team in the league, and there's no doubt about that. The Spurs might be the second best team in the league, but guess what? The Warriors actually did walk into San Antonio and beat the Spurs last night. Okay, that was a statement game for the Warriors. Why? Because there's a lot of people saying there's something off with the team. They're not playing together. Even the players like Draymond Green are stepping up and saying that the team doesn't feel like everybody's all in on winning. Well, last night it sure felt like that. This could be a shift. But either way, guys, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. The veterans like Curry and Green know that, and they're not going to just kill their bodies 10 games into the season. There's another 70 games left in this season, guys. So nobody should be hitting the panic meter right now. The Warriors are looking pretty good when they put out the effort. Obviously, the defense needs to step up. There's no doubt in my mind about that. The defense has got to get better. But Will Richard, a guy that is looking like an absolute amazing veteran, even though he's a rookie and only played in a few games this year, when he does play, he lights the world on fire, and he got the start last night, and he looks awesome. I don't know how the Warriors fell into getting Will Richard, but I will say one thing. The guy needs to continue to play, and I wouldn't bark at them actually starting him from now on. I would love to see him in the starting lineup. He's got defense. He can score. He's not scared to shoot. This guy is the real deal. Will Richard, the rookie, is looking amazing. He had 22 minutes last night. I mean, he had 3 points, but his defense is where it matters the most. And we need people like Will Richard, Jimmy Butler to come back and play defense because his defense has been iffy. His scoring has been even worse. But it doesn't matter. As long as this team is coming together and playing as a team down the stretch into the playoffs, that's when it matters most. They know that. Kerr knows that. And that's a big reason why I still believe this team is a playoff team and, hey, maybe even a championship contending team if they make the right moves at the trade deadline, and I do believe they need to make a move at the trade deadline. There's a couple of players that I thought were going to be taking a step forward this season that have taken a step back. Brendan Pajemski is at the top of that list. I don't like the way he's playing. I think he has drank the Kool-Aid a little bit too much. Being the backup to Steph Curry, I know he said he wants to be just like Steph Curry. Well, you got to start somewhere, and you can't start at the bottom when you're already at your second year playing. This guy, he's not scoring. 29 minutes, 6 points. That is not anything close to Steph Curry. We need consistency. Don't even say the word Steph Curry until you get to be consistently scoring 15, 20 points a night, because that's what we need out of Pajemski. I think he's a trade piece at the deadline. I really do. And the other guy, obviously, that I like to talk about that I don't like is Jonathan Kuminga. He has all the athletic ability in the world, but as far as basketball knowledge, as far as basketball intuition, that never was there, and it's been missing for who knows how long, but I've never seen it, and I really don't think that you can look at Jonathan Kuminga and expect him to continue to be consistent night in and night out. Yes, he started out really well this year, and even I was surprised 4 games into the season how consistent he was. Because I've never seen Jonathan Kuminga go 4 or 5 games in a row playing at the level he was playing. But he is coming back down to earth and picking up a lot of bad habits, turnovers. He doesn't have good handles. He's been picked a few times. I don't see Jonathan Kuminga being a future player on this team or a future leader. I'd say Kuminga and Podziemski are up for trade by trade deadline. If you could get rid of those two and add a decent center or somebody who can shoot consistently, power forward that can shoot consistently, that would make this team all the more better. Al Horford, I think you're going to see him in the starting lineup a hell of a lot more. Maybe not on back-to-backs, but Al Horford definitely is a game changer. He hit a few three-pointers last night when it mattered quite a bit, and I think you're going to see more of that from Al Horford. I think you're going to see Al Horford come to life as the season continues. But again, he's an older player. You're going to see this team play this game as if it were chess, not checkers, guys. These guys are not going out and wasting all their energy and wasting all their efforts in the beginning of the season. They're picking and choosing what teams that they want to play hard against, what teams they're maybe going to play a little bit more relaxed to get to the end of the road. But that's how you have to think. If this was Steph Curry and Draymond Green 4 years ago, we'd be talking about something very different, but they're not. They are aged. They're getting closer to 40. They need to think about this in a more strategic fashion, and that means conserving your energy, conserving your efforts for when it matters the most in the playoffs down the road. Last year, Curry got hurt in the playoffs when we needed him the most, and was that because of overuse? What was it? We really can't say. I think he should have taken more time off during the regular season. I'm not into load management at all. I can't stand it, but I will say one thing. When you get to a certain age, you need a little bit of load management, and I think he does. And I think he just needs to pick and choose where those extra efforts go into. Last night was one because they were called out. Their defense sucked against the Thunder. They had no offense. They got boat raced right out of the building. And there was no doubt that that game against the Spurs, they needed to come out and show they could still win. And oddly enough, they're playing the Spurs again tomorrow. Can you imagine if they get 2 wins against the Spurs on their own court? That would show the world that this Warrior team is not fake. Although we all should know that by now, they're not fake. If you have Steph Curry, you cannot doubt him. You should never doubt him. Until he retires or is in a wheelchair, you should not doubt what he can do with his effects on this basketball team. Same thing with Draymond Green. Last year, he was almost Defensive Player of the Year. But this year, we're talking about how he is slowing down and needs to be managed a little bit more on time. That may or may not be true, but we're only 6 months removed from that situation, guys. He can still be a top defensive player in this league, and I think he will be. The Warriors started off a little bit hot and then are getting a little bit cold, whatever. They're figuring it out. I don't think you need to leave this team left for dead on the side of the road, because if you do, they will return and they will kill you. There's no doubt about it. You will not be able to hold these guys down all season long. It's just not going to happen. They will figure it out. They will find a way. Buddy Hield is shooting hot and cold as usual, but that's what you expect from Buddy Hield. It's fine. I think he's a little bit better this year starting off than he was last year. Last year, he couldn't hit the side of a barn. This year, it's a little bit better. Buddy Hield scored 4 points in 16 minutes. But Steph Curry got his 46, and Jimmy Butler got 28. So, guys, Moses Moody got 19. There's a guy I would love to see get more time as Moses Moody. It looked like he's turning the corner and taking that next step. That guy in season, in preseason, training camp, all that stuff was on fire. And it looks like he still kind of is. So I would put Moses Moody in that starting lineup every once in a while, especially over Jonathan Kuminga. I am not a Jonathan Kuminga hater, but I am a realist, and I know Jonathan Kuminga is not a starter on this team. I'm sorry. There are other players on this team that shoot better and have a better optimistic chance of getting this team a win. Quentin Post deserves more time. He can hit the three-pointer. He's tall. His defense is not fantastic. I'm not super excited about his defense. Maybe that can come along. I think that can come on. If his defense gets better, Quentin Post is a fantastic, amazing player to have on your team, and I am excited to see more of it. I really am. He didn't do much in this game against the Spurs, but it doesn't really matter because I've seen him this year enough to know, and last year, enough to know that he is an extremely valuable piece on this team, whether it's off the bench or starting. Obviously, it's off the bench right now. It's fine. Adding Al Horford should make this team better, and it will. You just have to be patient. Guys out there, you're listening to the radio, you're listening to other people talk about this Warrior team as if they're old and done. It's not entirely true. They are old. They are going to have to come by wins a little bit. The wins that they come by are going to be a little bit tougher than they used to be. It's not just going to be a guarantee when you go out there every night. No doubt about it. But I wouldn't sit there and doubt Steph Curry when he drops 46 on the Spurs. How many games have the Spurs lost this year? 2? One was to the Warriors? Maybe 3? I haven't looked at their schedule, but they're in the top 2 teams. The only team better than them right now is the Thunder. And the Warriors just went out there and Curry dropped 46 and made Wemby look like a joke standing still as he ran right by him to the rim. So, guys, this team with Steph Curry can be a championship team every year. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody's proved me wrong. I've only seen Steph Curry prove me right. Draymond Green is still playing high efficiency defense. Maybe not yet this year, but in his career-wise, he's slowed down a tiny bit, but not enough to worry about whether or not his defense is going to come up to play this year. They just need a gel guy. Jimmy Butler is going to be Jimmy Butler. He is a guy who is always going to play amazing basketball. He started off slow again too. But so what? So what if in the end of the game, at the end of the season, you are in the playoffs. And now you have Curry, Butler, Green. You have Heel that came alive in the playoffs last year. If he does it again this year, fantastic. You have Al Horford now, who is an awesome center who can actually shoot the three-point. Guys, and I think their bench is pretty strong. So, listen, this team is going places, guys. They are going to be in the playoffs. They are going to be in the mix. If they make a move at the trade deadline for somebody who can make an impact in the starting lineup or off the bench, even better. I'm not ready to bury these guys yet. I'm not calling them a championship team yet because they got ran out of the building by the Thunder. They need to go back next time they play the Thunder, and probably at home, I believe. I got to see when that schedule is, when that date is, but they've got to go out there and they got to put them away at home and prove they can beat this team. If they don't, then, hey, if you're not first, you're last. It doesn't matter if you don't win the championship. So if you can't beat them, you can't win it all. So you got to go out there and you got to get it done. And that's what it is for Steph Curry and Draymond Green now. There is no rebuild, wait 2 or 3 years. This is the kind of thing where they're going to make a move this year probably to get another person on this team to get them a ring. And it's going to be like that for the next 2 or 3 years. We'll see if Curry re-ups his contract after. I think next year is the final year. I'm not sure. I think it might be. We'll see if he retires or he decides to come back. I don't think Steph Curry dropping 46 on the Spurs is thinking about retirement. Just saying, guys. So anyway, Warriors, keep watching them. They play the Spurs tomorrow at 5 o'clock again. That would be Friday, the 14th. So check it out, guys. As far as the Niners go, there's not much to say about the Niners. Brock Purdy comes in. Pearsall's back. They throw some touchdowns. Great. Their offense is on fire. Awesome. Their defense is the problem, guys. If you cannot put a defense on the field that can stop a team from scoring a touchdown, you are going to have a hard time winning. Even against the worst teams in the league, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be tit for tat all the way down to the fourth quarter. And that was kind of what it was in the last game that they played against the Rams, but the Rams just shut them down, scored a couple extra touchdowns. If the Niners didn't make a few of the mistakes that they made in the first quarter, it would have been a closer game. The Rams still probably would have won that game. But the bottom line is that your defense has to be better. And when you have a defense as banged up as the 49ers defense is, then we have to face ourselves in the mirror and say, this is not a Super Bowl contending team this year by any stretch of the imagination. If they would have made a move, maybe, maybe not. I don't think one player at the trade deadline would have made the Niners a Super Bowl contending team. I don't. The positive thing is you can see what you have on your roster now with the rookies and the second-year players and see who you might want to keep, who might be getting let go, what you might do in the draft. I'm kind of glad they didn't move anybody this year. I want to see them keep that draft capital and that money and see what they do with this team in the offseason. Because I'm already looking to the next season, guys. I'm not looking at this Niner team every year or every game now saying, oh, maybe they're going to make the playoffs. Maybe they're not. Maybe they can make the Super Bowl. I think they can be a playoff team, maybe a wild card team. Maybe they miss it all together. But the bottom line is at this point, I'm analyzing this team every single game and saying, okay, what would I do if I was the 49ers? Like, who do I like? Who of these guys do I like? Do I still like Mustafa? Am I still high on him? You know, there's a lot of players that I want to watch and see how they're going to fit into this Niner future. And that's the biggest thing with the Niners, guys. So, yeah, it'll be exciting to see Brock Purdy. I don't think he's fully healthy. I really don't. And I wouldn't expect anything spectacular out of him. He hasn't played in a while. Don't expect him to go out there and light the world on fire. Be great if he did. I do think the Niners will beat the Cardinals this week because the Cardinals are banged up. They got a quarterback situation going on. They have no starting running back. I mean, their wide receiver is out with appendix, so he's going to miss the game. So this is a game the Niners should win. Let's put it this way. If the Niners don't win this game, this will tell you exactly where the Niners are, which is looking towards next year. Okay? So they should beat the Cardinals. But remember, it's still a long season, guys. We got like 8 more games after this week. I think we're on week 9, right? We're on week 9. Got 8 or 9 more games. It's a long way, guys. It's a long way. I would not expect this Niner team to turn this around and look amazing in that time frame. I would say watch this team and enjoy understanding who those guys that are going to be the next superstars on this team or next starters on this team will be in the future. That's always fun to do too. But anyway, let's keep talking about that another time. Guys, thank you for watching Sideline Bay Area Sports. I'm going to keep doing this podcast. I will get this thing going and I will get the routine down. It's been very busy the last month or so. I have just had lots of things for work, family member passing away, and a lot of things. But I'm back. I'm here. I'm going to continue with this weekly. I know I've said that a couple times in the last week, trying to get it rolling. But I think now we'll get it rolling, and we'll get Warriors and Niners talk every single week going forward. Again, thank you for your support. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. We need subscribers. We got 10,000 already, guys. Sideline Bay Area Sports has 10,000 subscribers. So thank you to every single one of you who are watching this podcast. And, hey, let's go for 20 and then 30 and keep it rolling because this podcast is all about talking real sports. It's about talking the reality of what Bay Area sports is going through and what you can expect, not trying to hype shit up, not trying to tell you what may give you some crazy may or may not scenario, trade scenarios, draft scenarios. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to talk bluntly and as realistic as I possibly can. And right now, the Warriors are looking like a team that can make moves, but they're a little bit quiet right now. They can move and they can make it into the playoffs. The Niners are not a team that is a playoff team, and if they are, it's a wild card, one and done, most likely. And that's okay, because we can't be in the NFC Finals or NFC Championships every single year. So this might be a down year, but let's watch. I could be wrong. We all are wrong from time to time. And let's see where it goes. Anyway, until the next time, guys, remember, hard work beats talent when talent don't work. We'll see you in the next one.